Alright DW fam, so this is part 2 of our wines and tapas tour of Madrid with our wine expert here, Nanja. Make sure you guys check out part 1 if you guys haven't yet. But in this video, we try out more amazing wines and tapas at some fancier high-end restaurants here in Madrid for some great food. So yeah, coming up next. Alright guys, so we're at our third spot now. First spot was more of like a taperia, vermouth bar. Second one was a vinoteca. But stepping into this place, I get a very high-end feel. Like feels like a steakhouse or a really fancy restaurant. Angelita's.
I think this is one of the best gastronomy places that we've got here in Madrid. The place is called in Spanish Angelita. So Angelita is coming from the name of the two brothers who set up this place, Maria Angeles. And the two brothers are called Mario and David. This place has definitely received its prizes for best wine places and gastronomy locations here in Madrid. So definitely a place that I'd say anybody should check out. Like tons of wines by the glass that you can try here, and by the bottle, like I don't want to even like, we're going like over 1,000 bottles that you can choose from.
This is ironically mine and Nanja's favorite dishes here in Spain, and it's funny to call it even a dish because it's just a tomato. But if you guys have not had tomatoes in Spain, if you know, you know.
So my favorite salad is tomato with tomato with tomato, because tomato is just like best thing ever here in Spain if you got the good ones. And look at these beautiful four fellas here.
Yeah,
dip it into
olive oil action.
Olive oil.
Oh my god. Oh man, some saltiness from like that olive oil or something, that glaze on it, but oh, it's just so tender, fresh, a little bit sweet. It's almost like two totally foreign things, the tomatoes back home and the tomatoes here. It's just so amazing, the textures. That olive oil on it is a game changer though. But yeah, that's why we're here. It's a contrast to all the other places, because here we can pair our wines with the food, and you can order more or less, but we're on a food tour, so we're mostly just gonna get a few dishes to try and pair our wines with.
So I'm so excited to give you this dish because, you know, some dishes in life, they've been going for years on a menu of a restaurant for good reason. And this is one of those dishes. This is called pisto. And pisto is pretty much a vegetable ratatouille. So we're talking about the best fresh vegetables that are out there. If you can see well here in the middle, you have this gorgeous yellow orange looking egg yolk. I cannot wait to see his facial expression when he tries a bite of this, because I've tried hundreds of pistos here in Spain and this remains my favorite.
Nanja made this look really good. Let me do this right here. Let's try it out. I want to cry. Nanja wasn't lying. It's just the freshness of the vegetables and herbs. This is like the cooked vegetables, and with the breadcrumbs, oh man. Also, most of the eggs, you're gonna have your farm fresh eggs, so it just tastes really natural and fresh, like all the tortillas here that we've had with all the eggs. The eggs here are great, just along with the tomatoes. Almost tastes like, it's almost like a soup, because it's just the flavors of all the vegetables just go so well with each other. The key is just all the fresh ingredients in this warm little paste with the egg yolk. It's amazing. I give it a 9.6 out of 10 DW score. Ooh. Tomatoes in Spain, crazy. And honestly, I'm a carnivore, so I never thought I'd be raving about this, just full of vegetables, you know?
All right, so this pisto here at Angelita is the dish that you gotta get. The one dish that you gotta get at Angelita.
David, he's also the son of Angelita. He was saying that this is his mom's like signature dish, so if there's one dish, it should be that one. It kind of reminds me of like the sauce on a spaghetti bolognese, but it's just a lot better, and it's with all vegetable. It's just super fresh.
All right, so when we look here at the map of Spain and the different wine regions, we've got Rioja and Ribera. And so when we're talking about Ribera, we're talking right here at this corner above Madrid. And when we talk about La Rioja, we're talking about this area here. We are having Rioja here much closer to the Mediterranean area. We're talking about a climate that is much more mild. We have a lot more humid, moderated weather in this corner. And when we're talking about Ribera del Duero, we're in the hardcore continental corner of Madrid with much more diurnal changes with very high temperatures during the day and very cold temperatures at night, meaning that we have very different type of wines resulting from these two different areas, despite the fact that we're working with the same grape Tempranillo, which is also called Tinto Fino in Ribera del Duero. So yeah, that is something that we're going to be digging into here.
All right, guys, so we're going to do a little bit of something different right now. So Nanja here is going to give me a blind taste test on these two wines, and it's for a good reason. So we're going to tell you after, but I'm supposed to taste each one and tell you guys which one I prefer.
So what do we do first? We go swirl this a little bit.
Swirl it.
If you feel uncomfortable swirling in the air, you can also put the glass here on the surface, on the table, and then go like this.
Okay.
What do we do first? Dip in our nose. Alrighty.
Salud.
Salud.
Nice and bold, just like how I like it. All right. Before I say more, let's try the other one.
Alrighty. So let's go to wine number 2.
This surprisingly lingers a tad bit more, but it's lighter. And also, this is a tip for Americans, because Nanja was saying, like, if you guys don't know about Spain and like the regions, we're gonna give you guys a fun tip, right?
Yeah, because like I'm pretty sure that you're gonna end up like coming to Spain, whether you go to a little wine bar around the corner or in a fancy upscale restaurant. Either way, how you order your wines here is gonna be a little bit different than what you might be used to in the United States. We're actually gonna ask them for the wine region something is from, because the grape variety in both of these wines, for example, is Tempranillo. Tempranillo is the most well-known red grape variety we've got here in Spain, but they produce Tempranillo wine in a zillion regions here in the country. So what's most important is actually that you're going to tell the person that you're ordering your wine from, like where you want that grape variety to come from. So what we're going to do is, for example, ask them for a wine from either Rioja or from Ribera del Duero, which are the two, main well-known wine regions that we have here in Spain.
Are you going to unveil like which wine is which?
You were saying that this wine is from Rioja and that this wine is from Ribera del Duero. So fun thing is, it's exactly the other way around.
Oh my gosh, no way. Man.
If I would move to Rioja area, I would say these are more elegant, easy drinking, red fruit focused. And if I would move to Ribera, I would say I would move to a little bit more dark fruit, bolder, fuller body type of wine.
Yeah, definitely. I like that robust. Maybe the time I had it, the person like switched the names around. So I don't know. It's either this time or the other ones, but I definitely do prefer the robust, deeper, darker wine. So I guess I like Rivera's then.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
I think we always got to keep our mind open. It's always, of course, depends on the producer, how they make the wine, and if we're talking about a very young and refreshing wine, or whether we're talking about a wine that has quite some aging to it.
All right, so basically to summarize what you're saying, for first timers stay in Spain, most of the time if you go to any bars, they'll usually have a Ribera or Rioja, so you can order each one, and we're giving you the characteristics of each of those.
This is definitely the two areas that you need to know about before you dig into the other 72 wine regions that we've got here in Spain. But Rioja and Ribera is what we definitely need to know.
All right, I guess I'm Team Rivera. What team are you?
I'm definitely Team Ribera as well.
Yeah. All right.
We are tasting in a blind tasting. I think the wines must be clear, not confusing wines. Okay, the first one was a Ribera del Duero from Valderiz Winery. The name is Juega Bolos. It's one of the top wines from this classic and family estate in Burgos. And the second one, with less color, maybe more complexity, is a classic Reserva from Viña Tondonia. López de Heredia Winery is one of the most ancient wineries in Rioja, and the Reserva is a really icon of Rioja wines. The vintage is 2010. For the winery, it's one of the top vintage of the century.
When we're in Spain, there is a meat dish that you can have in different shapes, of course, but it's called rabo de toro, bull's tail, or in some cases oxtail.
Bull's tail. Wow, I love oxtail.
The beautiful thing with this is, of course, that there is a lot of slow cooking involved, so that it gets very tender. What they've done here at Angelita is they have a little bit of the bull's tail meat, but they have it inside a cannellone. So a cannelloni, the Italian pasta roll. So that way it's a little bit more accessible, you know, just as a one little roll.
It almost kind of looks like a crepe from the outside, but it's a pasta. Very well put together dishes, by the way. Oh my god. That is amazing. Wow. Oxtail is very tender, melts in your mouth, and there's some mushrooms on the outside. Nice creamy sauce. The texture, like on the inside, the oxtail is very tender, but then you get the pasta on the outside with a little bit of a chew. I give this dish like a 9.1 out of 10 DVW score. It's flames. It's similar to like a very short rib rigatoni pasta. I've had a lot of those, so yeah, but in one little compact dish. But yeah, you said it's good to pair with these ones right here, so let's do it.
How amazing is it how they put it together here, because they've got this beautifully meat stuffed inside a cannelloni, so you have it as a dish within a range of other dishes. So I would say the perfect way to have a bite of this type of meat. Rabo de toro, whether you're having the bull's tail or maybe an oxtail, how they also have it in some places. Same.
Guys, this is one of the craziest restaurants, wine bars I've been into. They are wine focused in here, detail oriented. The owner was telling me she's also an interior designer, so that's why this place looks so crazy. From every details to the cups, they say that they try to import like the best cups for each specific wine, and also the way that these wines are stocked. They can like adjust the temperature in the way they carry their wines, like the shapes of the cartridges, so that they can fit the exact wine bottle. This is basically like the Apple store of wine in Spain. And first thing I noticed right away when I walked into Berria is my jaw dropped, because the interior is like crazy. They have the wine cellars up here. These are the chilled wines, and it's like a wine fridge and an art piece all in one. There's so many wines here, guys. So different wines need to be in different temperatures, so they're in different types of rooms here. So this is the chilled room. Oh yeah, it's a little bit colder here for sure. There's so many wines here, guys. Oh my gosh.
You can lock me in here and pick me up tomorrow. I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, she's a true wine enthusiast here.
And also, like, pay attention to the details. They're paying really good attention to putting here, for example, like foil over it, just to make sure that all of the labels are being maintained as best as possible, you know, on all of these wine bottles.
I've only been in España for a little bit over a week, but we've been to a lot of restaurants, and I noticed that most of these restaurants always have like a wine cellar, a lot of wines, but this one is next level because it's just super high tech, and there's just a bunch of wine everywhere, guys. So one thing's for certain, they take their wine, vino, very seriously here in España.
So here at Berria, you have about 3,000 references available. And within those 3,000 references, we have about 500 already available within the sparkling wine cava section, and 125 references available by half the glass, not even a full glass, but half a glass, so you can have the 360 experience of exploring all of the wines that they have to offer. And to make things really funny, even when you go, you know, to powder your nose.
Oh my gosh. There's even wine in the restroom, guys.
Like, what the heck? You're going to powder your nose in the meantime, and what do you find here? A Vega Sicilia Unico 2011. What the heck?
Yeah, honestly, I would show you each wine, all the wines here, but I cannot because There's just so much wine here. Man, this is almost overwhelming, but yeah, I'm excited to try the wines, to say the least. All right, DVW fam, we're our last and final stop. This place looks amazing. It's called Berria. Each one of these spots has a certain personality, but this one is just next level. Nanja says this is her favorite wine place, and she's a pretty big wine nerd, so she'll tell you a little bit about this spot and why she took me here.
So Berria is pretty much wine heaven, and I don't think it matters at all if you're just new to wine or Spanish wine, or if you're completely immersed in this world like me. We're actually gonna dig into the world of some more curious gastronomic wines, which are the wines from Jerez, from the south of Spain. And I've selected a couple of really cool bites that go with it. We're having here a little bite of brioche bread with papada de iberico. So this is part of the neck of the Iberian famous pigs with caviar. And we also have here anchoa, so the anchovies from Cantabria. Also put here on a brioche bread, super crunchy.
All right, let's try it out. Cheers.
Cheers.
As you guys know, anchoas has a strong like ocean fishy taste, but actually these ones aren't too bad because they're more on like the salty side, and with the brioche bread, it really like soaks up that flavor. So in like one single bite as a tapas, it's pretty good. And the bread is really buttery too, crispy.
What we're having here is one of them is a wine from Jerez, from the south of Spain, a sherry wine. This ranges from something that is almost the color of water up until something that is pitch black. Ooh. And from bone dry to super syrupy sweet and everything in between. And I picked a wine that is not from the south, it's from the north actually, from Galicia, and a little bit more accessible for people that might be a little bit in shock the first time when they drink a sherry wine. Whilst you're having a sip, it has 3 grape varieties and it's aged in a tinaja, so this is like a clay vessel. But it's a little bit more accessible than when you go straight into a full-on sherry.
All right, let's try it out.
Yeah.
Salud.
Salud.
It's interesting. It's dry, fruity, and it kind of reminds me of a sidra, but it's not.
I think it's a wonderful description. You know, we're having something that does have the fresh, fruity elements, the primary aromas as we call it. But it also has a different, layer of aromas to it that you get from that specific aging. And it's not so aggressive in terms of alcohol. So, which is, I think, a lot more accessible than the second one. We are going to the most southern part of Spain, specifically right here. This is Jerez, so sherry area. Also referred to as the Sherry Triangle. 3 areas that make up this triangle are Sanlúcar de Barrameda, Puerto de Santa Maria, and Jerez itself. Sherry wines that have a very particular system of being made. What we're having here is always 2 styles, biologically and oxidative aging. When we take a wine barrel, as you can see here, we don't fill it all the way with wine, but we leave a little bit of space at the top where, due to the microclimate that we have in Jerez, which is very humid, a layer which we call flor can grow on top of the wine, and where it can start to eat all of the sugars inside the wine. And we keep topping it up every time with a little bit of new wine in a new level inside the Solera system. I think this is a beautiful way to show the contrast all the way in the north versus all the way in the south.
Javi's basically saying that I tried this in the north and I really liked it there, but this one, I would actually prefer this one. I think I'm a big fan of Ribero.
Galician white wine,
so good.
3 grape varieties, special aging, incredible.
This looks crazy. Usually when I've had Iberico pork and ham, it's like pinkish reddish, but this almost looks white.
Yeah, so actually what we're having here is we're of course famous here in Spain for the Iberian pig, and there is a special part which is from the neck area, and that's what they made this of. Look, it's almost like as thin as glass. You can almost look through it, and then it's on top of a brioche bread, really, really crunchy, and then with like, very obviously, caviar.
Oh my god. Extremely fatty, buttery. Like the brioche itself is like a butter bread, and the caviar just pops with like fish oils. But then the iberico pork, yeah, super tender and melts, but it gives that salty pop from the iberico pork or just the caviar, but that's good.
Pairing it with the amontillado, such an incredible pairing. Like super saline, all of those nutty aromas that you get in this amontillado.
Oh my gosh, this doesn't taste like any wine I've tasted before. I taste the nutty flavor. It almost tastes like whiskey.
Yeah, so they have very similar.
Oh my gosh, it has like a crazy aftertaste too.
Has all of those roasted and toasted, like nuts, all of the almonds and walnuts, a little bit of the hint of even like caramelized nuts.
There's so many flavor profiles to this. It transforms in flavors. You're taking that first sip's kind of strong, bold, kind of like whiskey, but then it calms down a little bit, and you taste a little bit that nuttiness. It's three-dimensional. That's the word.
Absolutely. 17% alcohol. So also beautiful little label here.
So many diverse types of wines through all the regions of Spain, and there's different climates in each part. So all these wines just taste different, but the overwhelming factor is that they're all quality and they're delicious. I don't know if that's because Nanja is just showing me like all the best ones, but just all these flavors are honestly crazy. This is one of the most interesting wines I've tried. My friend Javi here he's Spanish, so I want to see his reaction to trying this wine right here.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Definitely, it doesn't actually taste like usual wine. It tastes kind of weird for me, because also like these kind of wines are usually sweet. Jerez wines are usually like on the sweeter side, like the traditional ones that we usually have at home. So it's really interesting experience to try this one. It has so much flavors to it. It's just like not only one thing. It's just like you don't even know what you're tasting anymore.
This is not just a croqueta, but this is like the croqueta from Berria. This is a really, really, really cool croqueta because they got awarded by several places here in Madrid and here in Spain. You know, we're really in some of the best croquetas that you could possibly find out there. Super crunchy on the outside, really, really creamy, juicy on the inside with the bechamel and the jamon iberico. So let's do this.
All right. I like that the crispy outer shell is thin. It's just a light crisp. Bechamel is really creamy. And you get the pops of meatiness and flavor from the iberico.
You gotta have some bites with your wines. And Berria is one of those places where everything will be incredible. So I would definitely recommend like coming here with a few people and share a couple of dishes.
Guys, so I'm gonna have to pour myself another glass of this one.
De Jerez amontillado.
Guys, so Nanja here was telling me something. She's basically saying like she's spoiling me, and I cannot disagree because these are some of the better wines I've tasted. I am a big fan of this sherry wine, like I said. And that's the thing about Madrid and like the heart of this tour. Like Nanja did a great job. She took me to a lot of different vibes here in the city. She took me to like a local taperia. She took me to vinoteca, like more, local place. A restaurant, mid-tier, and then this one, which she calls her favorite, wine bar. And the thing about Madrid is the center of Spain. There's a lot of, influences of other parts of the country, and they bring it here to the center. You can really get the best of Spain here. So yeah, how about you tell us what you can do and what you actually, do in the wine world?
Actually, I have a little bit of a combination of different things that I do in the world of wine. So on one hand, I'm the senior wine expert for the Spanish and Portuguese wines in Catawiki, the online wine auction platform. On another side, I own my own business. So I work as a wine consultant, but also doing the national distribution of wines to restaurants, to events, and the export of Spanish wines outside of Spain. When I have enough time, I still organize, wine events, wine tours, things like that. So I'm definitely, I would say, like very all round in the wine industry. And in the meantime, as we were talking just earlier, I'm at the moment doing the WSET 4, which is the highest level in the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. I'm youngest woman in my class right now this year, so definitely trying to reach for, like gaining more knowledge every single year.
Congrats.
So yeah, definitely super excited to keep on rolling in my, corner in the world.
Wine expert, wine enthusiast, wine nerd, Nanja here. Shout out to Nanja if you guys have any wine questions. Definitely hit her up, check her out. I'll put some of her relevant links down below in the description. We had a lot of great wines here in Madrid and Spain, and there will be much more. So yeah guys, if you guys like this video, please like it. Comment down below some recommendations for us if you have any, and subscribe for more DVW food, wine, and Spanish world tours. All right, deuces. Salud.
Cheers.
Bottoms up.